How's it going, everybody? It's your boy, and in perhaps a shocking twist, although, let's be fair, is it really that shocking? Is it really that surprising that this event has happened as outlined in the title? Everybody knows about #MeToo at this point. Everybody knows what its stated goals were, which was to root out and expose rapists and sexual assaulters, people taking advantage of women in Hollywood, things like that. Noble goals, although it was since taken over by the feminists and became a witch hunt, and we were soon seeing stories which started off as verified, so things like Harvey Weinstein, to loads of people being accused of things without any evidence whatsoever. And so as it's beginning to die down, suddenly this story hits, and it just so happens to hit one of the most important key players in #MeToo. Italian actress Asia Argento, who became a leading figure in the #MeToo movement after accusing powerhouse producer Harvey Weinstein of rape, paid hush money to a man who claimed she sexually assaulted him when he was 17, the New York Times reported Sunday. The $380,000 payment was made to Jimmy Bennett, an actor and rock musician who claimed Argento assaulted him in a California hotel room in 2013, according to the Times, which cited documents sent to the paper by an unidentified party. Bennett was 2 months past his 17th birthday at the time of the alleged encounter, while Argento was 37. The legal age of consent in California is 18. Now, as far as I know, Weinstein's alleged issues were with women of consent, as far as I know. All his alleged bullshit and stuff that, as far as I know, has been verified, were done on people who were adults, legally adults. However, Argento has allegedly sexually assaulted, or as we'll soon see in the article, committed sexual battery on what was at the time a minor. Yeah, he's only 1 year away, and yeah, technically speaking, depending on which culture you're from, which country you're from, being 17, you can consent, but the law is the law, and it has to be followed, especially when it comes to consent laws. And she has basically committed something, if indeed happened, a hebephilic, because he's not a child, really, he's a teenager, he's practically a man physically at this point, or to go with the usual parlance, paedophilic act. This is a whole different kettle of fish to what Weinstein did, to some extent, if it was true. And it raises some interesting points that I will bring up later on. Argento's lawyer, Carrie Goldberg, described the money as helping Mr. Bennett, lamenting that the actress had to deal with people who preyed on both your strengths and your weaknesses. Please, forgive me if I'm wrong, but this sounds like victim blaming. As if, oh, she has to deal with people taking advantage of her. A 17-year-old taking advantage of a 37-year-old. Really? I find that hard to believe. I find it hard to believe that that guy even had the emotional maturity and intelligence to even attempt such a thing on an adult. But, hey, I don't know, alright? I don't know. Also, what's interesting is that she's already trying to make out that it's Argento that is the victim here, not the alleged victim, Bennett. Typical, really, isn't it? Typical. But then this raises a question, and this is something that was levelled at Michael Jackson 25 years ago during his case. If you're innocent, if you did nothing wrong, why did you pay the money? And there could be reasons for that. Either one, she is guilty and paid him off because that was the best course of action. Maybe he just simply could not press criminal charges for whatever reason. Could be because as a male victim, allegedly, he wasn't taken seriously enough. Maybe he just couldn't, bring her to justice in that way. I don't know. I know it's hard for male victims. Or it could be that her lawyer told her to do so, much like Michael Jackson was told, just to mitigate things and sort it out quickly. Even though, in my opinion, if this did happen, criminal charges should be brought, really. Sexual battery, it's not... It's not something to be taken lightly in a civil case, I'm just saying. But regardless, these are the two things that I can think of that could be the reasons why she paid him off. And I don't see how 300 grand can help him with his problems which they describe. Bennett's lawyers had characterised the hotel encounter as sexual battery that traumatised the former child actor, threatening his mental health and income. His notice of intent to sue sought $3.5 million in damages for intentional infliction of emotional distress, lost wages, assault and battery, the paper said. So not only was he sexually assaulted, he was also physically assaulted. I guess the two are kind of intertwined in a way anyway. Also lost wages. I don't know where that came from. I don't understand how he lost wages unless he was so mentally damaged by this he just couldn't work, in which case that makes sense. But if this is true, I don't think even $3.5 million could help fix and mitigate his obvious trauma if indeed it happened. Argento became a powerful voice for the hashtag MeToo movement after accusing Weinstein of raping her when she was 21 in his hotel room in 1997 during the Cannes Film Festival. Bennett's legal action was launched a month after Argento's accusations against Weinstein were made public, the Times said. She made an emotional speech at this year's festival, telling the audience, "Things have changed. We're not going to allow you to get away with it." But then it seems that you think that you can get away with alleged abuse and sexual battery of minors because of your gender, because of who you are and what you believe. I guess maybe you thought wrong. Now here's some things that I need to bring up. I've been saying alleged a lot because, let's be fair, I can't just say outright that she did it, like what they've been doing in hashtag MeToo, because not only is that legally troublesome for me and other people, but also it's just professional and it just saves me a lot of hassle. But secondly, here's an interesting thought for you. Hashtag MeToo has a very noble goal when you think about it. And what if a lot of people, like Asia Argento, much like male feminists, are simply using this movement to cover themselves or to even find new victims to potentially sexually assault minors or men or women or anything really. It could be used as a shield for their rather heinous activities. I mean, just think about it. Hashtag MeToo were not very favourable towards male victims anyway. People like Terry Crews, who had a history of being raped in Hollywood. Terry Crews was told to basically fuck off because he's a man and they don't care about him, pretty much. It's pretty clear the agenda is not boys and men who have been assaulted by various Hollywood moguls, actors, actresses, producers, whatever. It's pretty clear that the female victims are their primary concern. People, kind of like how Asia Argento's been accused of, could use this as cover and as a shield because male victims are being ignored. In fact, they're actually being victim blamed, as in the quotes in this article. They're being ridiculed. So it's easy for these people to do what they want to do because there's nobody protecting them. And of course, why would anybody question that you've done anything wrong when you yourself are an alleged victim? And you're a woman, so of course, you're telling the truth, right? Just like male feminists. How could they possibly rape somebody when they're a feminist and they are supposed to be against this and supposed to be protecting women? Exactly. It's the perfect foil. Now, of course, I don't know if Asia Argento did this, and who knows, maybe more people will come out. Again, that doesn't really prove anything because again, the man really should have got her arrested way back in the day. He should have gone straight to the police. If I say this to female alleged victims, I will say this to male alleged victims. Even if you don't get treated seriously, at the very least try and give them evidence. So at least you have it, or at the very least do something, anything. I know it's hard, but you have to do something. These people need to be brought to justice, or at the very least you need to have a pretty good case. Who knows, maybe somebody from the most recent past will come out. Maybe somebody way back when will come out and say, yes, she has a long history of this. Who knows? Maybe other people will come out and say, look, these actresses, these producers in Me Too are also like what Asia Argento is allegedly like. Because if that happens, this movement's dead, because then it will have the reputation of basically harbouring paedophiles and rapists, and it will be seen to only care about women rather than all victims, even though it should really already have that reputation anyway, considering what a lot of the key voices have said. And it will lose all credibility. In fact, it probably should lose all credibility now if this is proven to be the case. I mean, the words alone from her lawyer, that's not something that should be said by somebody who is supposedly the lawyer of somebody from hashtag MeToo. It just reeks of hypocrisy. But that's Hollywood for you guys. That's Hollywood. It's probably never going to change. We're probably always going to have these people, probably always going to have victims. The casting couch will simply, I don't know, be taken out and replaced by another that doesn't look like a casting couch. Hollywood will probably always be a sea of debauchery and villainy, and well, that's the world. Really, Hollywood, just because it's full of rich people, doesn't mean that it's in any way not like the rest of the world. This shit is always going to happen. It's part of human nature, sadly, and all we can do is to try our best to help all victims and bring these people to justice. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll see you later.